Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another hardcore Iron Man progress video. And in the last video, we did the making friends with my arm quest to add 2 more patches to our herb runs. Because now that farming contracts are a thing, we're getting so many more herb seeds that I just couldn't keep up with before. Then we had to finish the Fremnik Hard Diary to get fast access to the Trollheim patch, so we knocked that out quickly as well, and now we are good to go for herb runs. We finished off with a couple agility levels, but it's time to take a break and get started preparing for the next 99. So with that being said, let's get into the video, and I hope you enjoy. Right, so for the last week now or so, as I've been doing Slayer and Agility, when I've been actively playing the game, that's what I've been doing. But in my downtime, while I've been like eating or editing or doing something, I've been collecting buckets of sand because the next skill is going to be crafting. We have level 95 crafting right now, and we are just over 4 mil to 99, so that is kind of not really close to it. It's close, but not really at the same time, because crafting is a pretty fast skill. But what we're going to be doing is making molten glass, and for molten glass, you need buckets of sand and giant seaweed, or regular seaweed if you're doing charter ships. But we have a lot of giant seaweed in the bank here from doing runs a long time ago. We have over 9,000, I know, just like Dragon Ball Z. And then the buckets of sand, I have been passively getting 84 per day from Bird because I got the Arty Elite Diary done, so it automatically puts that in your bank. But the buckets of sand we have right now is 14,000. I actually haven't even checked for a while. I've just been like collecting it and then just depositing right away without even looking. But yeah, 14k sand is what we have. I am running low on buckets, but luckily a few months ago they added packs of buckets to the game, so you can go to any farming shop in the game and buy them hundreds at a time very easily in bulk, so it's gonna be very good for this grind. Fun little fact, by the way, is that for every allotment patch in the game, there's always a nearby farming shop, and every farming shop, that's where they sell the buckets. So we're going to this patch right here, going to trade her, and here are the empty bucket packs. So you see they're like 500 GP. Buy them all out. The price does go up a bit, but not by too much. When you open one, is 100 buckets. So open a bunch of these and we could easily collect a bunch of node buckets that way. So just hopped a couple worlds, literally took like 30 seconds to buy all these. We have quite a lot of buckets right here. So let's go back to the bank and deposit all these in there. I actually already had like 5,000 buckets in the bank before I started collecting sand. And that was all from doing the daily ectofuntus with the Mauritania Diary. You get like 26 buckets a day from doing that. Before they add bucket packs into the game, you know, that was probably a pretty decent method to getting buckets, but we're stocked up for buckets. I don't think I'm going to go all the way by doing buckets of sand. I might switch over to charter ships later. But let me show you how we actually collect the sand if you're not an Iron Man and you've never seen this method before. I will show you how this works. First thing I want to show you is a plugin that could really potentially be helpful here, and that is the Inventory Viewer. If you're on RuneLite, it's called Inventory Viewer. If you're on OSBuddy, it's called Alternate Inventory. But if you turn that on, that will show your inventory right here. So if we withdraw the buckets from the bank, I will switch that to Withdraw All. So that way, if you left click, withdraws the full inventory that way, it will show right here your full inventory, so you can switch over to other tabs and it'll still show your inventory and what it's looking like. Next thing we have to do is go to the spanner down over here and go to the house options and switch to the house options to teleport outside the house. So that way when we use our construction cape or whatever house teleport you have, if you teleport to your house, it will teleport you straight outside. So instead of showing up inside, you're already outside by the sandpit right here. Also, my house is in YAML, which I guess is pretty obvious at this point. But what I would do from here is left click on a bucket. And as I'm doing that, I'd switch over to my worn gear. So as I'm left clicking, I can be all prepared to teleport back to the bank, which I'm using the Western Banner 4 for, which in case you didn't know, it's like a budget crafting cape, which obviously if I'm doing this method to train crafting to 99, I don't have the crafting cape. So that way I can see my inventory. I will be all set to go once my inventory is full with the buckets of sand. It's really funky how you can see your inventory filling up with buckets of sand from the inventory viewer, even though you can't actually see your inventory. Like the plugin knows their inventory is changing somehow. So I think that's pretty cool. But as you can see, once it fills up right here, I'm ready to teleport back straight away. And then run straight up here, and because I have the left click all on, go like that, back to the house, click, go back there. I can left click and then just be set to go straight back to the bank once again. By the way, in case you're curious, you can collect just over 2,000 buckets of sand per hour, depending on how efficient you are and how much attention you're paying and how close your bank teleport is. If I was a regular Iron Man, I could do this on a PvP world and teleport to Camelot after each inventory, but that's probably a bad idea for 2 reasons. First reason being is that if I teleport to Camelot, knowing me, there's a good chance I'll misclick and run away and get PK by someone. Second reason is because this is not a safe zone in a PvP world, so if you're a regular Iron Man, you could do this in PvP world. If not, probably don't want to risk your hardcore stats filling up buckets of sand AFK. I didn't mean to keep on collecting sand for this long, but I got kind of distracted by editing a video. But let's take a look and see all the sand we have now in the bank. 21k sand. And before we start doing super glass make, there's one thing that I forgot about that we have in the bank here, and that's all the uncut gems from training Slayer. I think it's actually mostly from Motherload, but yeah, we're going to cut all these, and hopefully that'll give us a decent amount of crafting XP. Before we start cutting them, some of you may want to see a price check, so we'll toss that up in there very quick, and it is 2.4 mil worth. Okay, this is the last inventory of diamonds. These are all the gems I have in the bank to cut, so if you put these back in here, also ignore those gems, I'm not cutting those. We are done now. This is all at 0, so taking a look at the XP rates over here, let's pause that. We got 161k XP from all those, which took just over an hour, averaging 154k XP per hour, so pretty decent rates, can't complain with that. And I think we're now all set to start doing the super glass make spell, so we'll switch over to lunars. And I'm also out of astral runes. I used all the astral runes when I was doing the spin flak spell to get all the bowstring I have in the bank, which I'll never end up using, but we don't talk about that. But yeah, we have pretty much no astrals left in the bank, but we have plenty of money, so we're going to go ahead and buy a bunch, and then we'll be set to start on the grind to 99. Alright, so like half the worlds are sold out, and I've now been timed out from hopping too many worlds, but I managed to buy 2.2k, and I think we'll start doing this method right here, so that way we can just keep on buying more astrals as we run out. I think we'll probably need like 4 or 5k astral runes in total. I might be doing magic imbue while I'm doing this as well, because I do still need more magic XP since we're still like over 600k to level. But yeah, I'm going to figure out how this method of super glass make works, because I've never actually done it. I've seen a lot of Iron Men do it, I've seen guides on it, but I've never actually done it myself. So I'm going to get a feel for how this works. Let's do a price check of all the giant seaweed we have and all the sand we have. As I said before, we don't have enough sand for all the seaweed we have, so once I run out of sand, I'll probably hop over to charter ships. We'll throw it up in the price checker anyways, and it's worth 8.6 mil. Yo, the freaking occult altar is so nice to have. As I'm figuring out this method, I was looking at the bank and I saw we already have almost 1k molten glass from before. I think it's from Thermi, I think it drops like 100 at a time, so we're already starting with a bit in the bank from beforehand. Because it uses fire runes and air runes, I'll be using a smoke staff, which I have 3 of. By the way, kind of an odd flex, but we got 3 of them before getting the occult. Anyways, if I didn't have that, you could also use a Staff of Air and a Tome of Fire. The Tome of Fire only uses up charges if it's a combat spell, and this is not a combat spell. As long as you charge it with 1 page, it'll work. But yeah, we have the Smoke Staff, so no need to worry about that. And because I also want to be able to cast Magic Imbue, I'll need Water Runes for that, so that way we can just use Magic Imbue and then go back and forth between casting Super Glass Make, and I can also cast Magic Imbue. I figured out how to withdraw all these in one tick. So I have my sand set up like that and my seaweed set up like this. So if I right click that, click 4 times, boom, all in one tick. I have everything I need. There's 2 different methods of doing this. One is by doing 18 to 3, and the other is by doing 2 to 12, 2 seaweed for 12 buckets of sand. I'm also going to remove the placeholder for the rune pouch, so that way I can put in bank fillers, and that way with bank fillers, I can click deposit inventory, and I can deposit everything all at once, and the rune pouch will still stay in the inventory, no matter how many times I press that. Between the 2 different ratios of giant seaweed to buckets of sand, you do get the max amount of molten glass per giant seaweed if you do 3 to 18 versus the other way. You get 1.6 molten glass per bucket of sand, versus the other one with 2 to 12, you only get 1.4 times molten glass per bucket of sand. The downside though of doing 3 to 18 is that most of the time when you cast the spell, there's going to be molten glass that falls on the ground because you can't pick it up. So usually I guess you would do a few inventories of this and then deposit it. And then once you have like, I guess, a full inventory on the ground, you'd spend a few seconds to pick all of it up and then deposit it and then keep on going. Whereas doing 2 to 12, I don't think it would ever fill up your inventory. And if you did 2 to 12, you never have to worry about picking stuff up off the ground. You just keep on casting the spell over and over and banking and never have to stop and spam click the ground just like that, or worry about other people picking your molten glass up or anything like that. But I'll probably be doing 3 to 18 the whole time. Yo, I just had a 300 IQ idea right here. So if I take my Mist Staff, which is air and water runes, and the Tome of Fire, that will give me all 3 runes I need, and I won't have to use water runes of my own. And the time I took to explain that, I probably could have made the money back. But hey, it's for the greater good of the community, teaching you guys how to play the game properly, because obviously I'm the best person to learn from. Yeah, now we can have unlimited fire, water, and air runes. I'm not the most efficient person, in fact I'm pretty far from it, but I think most people can relate to my style of playing, so hopefully these rates are more accurate for the casual player. But these are the XP rates in case you're curious. It looks like I was averaging about 72k crafting XP per hour and 47k magic XP per hour. So yeah, not sure if this would profit from any accounts, but for Iron Man, it's definitely a solid way to go. Honestly, such a sad game. Okay, here's the last of the molten glass. I wasn't doing this very efficiently, so my XP rates and the amount of time it took is probably off, but I think it took me about 5 hours to make 35k molten glass, which would come out to, I guess, 7k molten glass per hour. We can do a price check, because I'm sure you would all love to see a price check of the molten glass. Toss that all up in there. That is 6.9 mil. There we go. We're now set to start training crafting for real now. We're currently level 95 with 325k to level. I think that might get us to like halfway through 97, maybe 98. Haven't done the math yet, but it's probably going to be close to 98 after we finish with that. Wait, what? I'm so... What's going on? I'm so confused. I like it though. I like it. This is great. It's a party. I really appreciate your support on this road to maxing, so thank you so much for keeping me motivated, because whether or not you know it, you are the one that keeps me going. We are now all set to grind out 99 crafting, and it is going to be such a useful skill cape to have, and it's going to be nice to have one more 99 out of the way. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you again next time.